in this next edition of DSP Tries It, we're still continuing on with the Cafe Press merchandise, and I'm going to consolidate a bunch of products into this one video. This is kind of like the odds and ends video, because as you'll see, is a lot of really like miscellaneous things you can get on Cafe Press. A lot of people have asked me about this clock. This is a giant wall clock, okay? It's bigger than a foot. From here, I mean, take a look at the size of my hand compared to the clock. My hand isn't even half the bottom of the clock. I mean, it's over a foot wide. You can get the Hateful Truth logo, you can get the Dark Side Phil King of Hate logo, you can get the logo with my face on it. There's a bunch of different designs that you can get. We'll also look at a smaller version, but this large clock is $33.99 simply because of the giant size of it. And I put this in my kitchen because I had no clock besides the stove clock, which you can't see from the living room. So that is my kitchen clock right now. Some other miscellaneous things I want to show you. A lot of people said, "Hey Phil, you make Cooking with the King. Why don't you have an apron?" I do have an apron. And as you see, it says The Hateful Truth, DSP. There's many other logos. This one is beige colored, but you can also get white, you can get blue, navy blue, and I believe they vary in price between, say, like $21 to $23, depending on the color and the design, so check those out. One other thing I want to show you over here, which you will see if you watch my series Smart Guys, I use this journal to now take notes for all the wrestling shows that I watch during the week, and then I use this to talk about it during my Smart Guys review show. So this is a journal. You can get it either with my face like that. There's also one with a Dark Side Phil logo. There's one with the Hateful Truth logo. Those go for $11.99. Not bad, considering the really cool custom front. It is laminated front, so it's not going to get scratched or anything like that. And then the pages are a thick white paper stock. It's not lined paper, it's just basically blank paper. The back is also laminated, a black laminated page. Now, what else do we have? Well, I actually have a couple mouse pads that I use. As you can see, it's very hard to see, I apologize, but that's a Hateful Truth mouse pad down there. That's the middle finger. And I use that in the living room, and I'll also show you in the bedroom where I have my other computer. This is the one that a lot of people saw during the DSP inbox video and said, "Oh, I like that. I'm going to get that mouse pad." There it is. So you can get many different designs for that mouse pad as well. Those mouse pads, I believe, are going for either $12 or $13.99 right now on Cafe Press. And the last thing that I want to show you in this like miscellaneous video is the small clock. This is a very small clock. I'd probably say it's about 8-9 inches. And this is cheap. This is only $13.99. Again, as you can see, you can get the Dark Side Phil logo. I'll try to get a side shot so you can see a little bit better. Or you can get many other logos that are available. This is what I use as a clock in my bedroom. So those are the miscellaneous products right now. There's lots of other stuff up, though. If you go take a look, there's tote bags, there's gym bags, there's mugs, there's I'm serious, just go take a look. Cafe Press / Dark Side Phil. There's so much like miscellaneous stuff up that you can get that it's worth a look. So take a look. How do I rate this stuff? Well, the clocks so far have been outstanding. This clock is perfect for the price. I think you can get a similar clock at any store for around 10 to 15 bucks, and it's just as good, but you don't get a custom logo. I do think the large clock for $34 is pretty pricey. I don't know why it's that pricey. Maybe it's just because of the sheer size of it. It is very large, but it's perfect for my kitchen, and I can see it from all the way across my condo. So for that, I say the clocks I give maybe a 3.5. The notepad I absolutely love. The notepad I really, like I said, I use it every single day when I'm watching wrestling, and for 12 bucks, you can't go wrong. A custom notepad with some really cool art on the front. I give this a 4. If it were a little bit cheaper, like if it were 10 bucks or less, I'd probably give it a 5, but I'll give it a 4. And the apron is pretty cool too. A lot of people get those custom aprons, Kiss the Cook. Well, how about an apron with a giant fucking middle finger on it? I mean, how can you go wrong with that? There it is. So, being that that's around 20 bucks, that's a pretty good value too. I'm going to give that a 4. So, overall, I think some of the miscellaneous products on the website are really cool. Go check it out, Cafe Press / Dark Side Phil. What is up? It's DSP with another episode of DSP Tries It, and today I wanted to talk about an energy drink that I did mention in one or two of my other videos, but I just tried it out this week, and I love it, and it's nothing like any of the other energy drinks that I've tried. As you can see right on here, it's FRS, and their brand logo is Healthy Energy. Why is this different from other energy drinks? Several reasons. Number one, it's not carbonated. It's not like one of those sodas, so you're not going to be burping it up after you drink it. Number two, it's not soda. It's actually a unique mix of green tea and many unique ingredients. What it actually says on here is hospitals were trying to research what to do for people who were getting chemotherapy, because as you know, when you get radiation chemotherapy treatment, for certain diseases such as cancer, it actually will basically make your body extremely weak, to the point where basically it is poisoning your body, but it's because they're trying to kill the cancer. And so they're trying to find a way to rejuvenate your body, and they have this unique blend of green tea with other ingredients, and I'm not going to go into it to give them the whole spiel here. This isn't an advertisement for this of any means, but what I want to show you, if you can see, this thing has 130% of most of the same things that are in those other energy drinks. It's got 260% vitamin C, so it's really good, you know, if you're trying to keep up your immune system. And let me tell you, as a testimonial, there's been some days that I've been doing some playthroughs. I'm going to be honest with you, when I was playing Fallout New Vegas, some days I woke up and I felt like shit because it was such a long game. Before I drank water, before I did anything, I drank one of these, and within, say, an hour, I felt great. And this has been like a running pattern now for about a week and a half. I've been drinking these probably once a day in the morning as soon as I wake up, and I feel really good. Like I said, it's not carbonated, so you don't feel bloated. It does have some caffeine, but what they tell you at the bottom here is that it's not as much caffeine as in even a cup of coffee. The only reason they put caffeine in there is basically to help you here you go. It helps you absorb the other key components that are in the drink. This isn't a caffeine-fueled drink where after a half hour you're going to crash because you drank so much sugar and caffeine. It is sweet, and they have different flavors. This one's orange, and it tastes just like that. It tastes like orange. There's another one that's berry, and it's very low sweetener in that one, and I actually have that one in the other room. But delicious. Oh, nice quick drink. You see, it's also a smaller can, too. It's not like a giant can like some of these other energy drinks. They make you chug like a double-sized freaking can. Like, that's going to help you. You're going to feel all bloated and disgusting. Since it's not carbonated, you don't feel bloated at all. You drink it just like orange juice or anything else that you would drink in the morning, fruit juice. You feel good after a while. No crash. And so this is one of my favorite products right now. My only downside is that it's expensive. At the store that I get it at, the cans are $2 each, and I'm not even exaggerating. This is $2 each for a can. I get the feeling that if it catches on a little bit more, it'll get cheaper. Because I remember when Red Bull came out, that thing was like $3 a can, and now it's gone way drastically down. You can usually get it for under $2 a can. But FRS, really good drink. I'm enjoying it. And, you know, like I said, since it's not carbonated, it really seems to be a better product than a lot of the other energy drinks that I've tried, including sodas and other things. Actually, I used to drink NOS, to be completely honest. NOS energy drink, and I don't even drink it anymore. I've got a couple cans of it around the condo here. I haven't touched it because I like this stuff better. So I'm going to give this a 4. I would give it a higher rating if the price wasn't so high, but flavor-wise, the fact you don't get bloated, the fact that it still gives you the energy boost that you're looking for, it gets a 4. So this is DSP with another DSP Tries It. FRS energy drink gets a 4 from me. What is up, everyone? It's DSP, and if you're hearing an echo, it's because I am going to do a DSP Tries It review of the RC car, or RC Spy car, that comes with the Call of Duty Black Ops Prestige Edition, which I did purchase. Now, this car is pretty neat. Basically, that is the RC car on the ground right there. This is the remote control that comes with the car. Now, right off the bat, I want to warn everyone, because the rumors were true. To operate this guy, you need 12 AA batteries. 6 batteries for the car, 6 batteries for the remote control. But when you see the features that this thing has, you're going to understand why it takes so many. Now, it would have been neat if they could have put some kind of a rechargeable battery into this guy, but unfortunately they did not. So first of all, what are the features? What do you get with this RC car? Well, as you can see here, this is your remote control. And what I want to do is actually turn it, if I can get the display to show. You have a adjustable volume setting, which as you can hear is actually transmitting my voice. There's a microphone down on the top of the RC car, so you could drive this car, say, up to someone's room, or you know, as a spy vehicle somewhere and try to listen to what people were saying. Now, as you can hear, I don't know how much of a spy vehicle it could possibly be when it's that loud. So that's up for debate, but basically, that was the whole idea of this thing, is they were saying, you know, oh, you know, it could be a spy vehicle or whatever, and let's actually lower the volume bit down to the lowest settings. What I actually want to do is turn off the remote and turn it back on for you, and show you all the options that are on the remote. So as the remote boots up, you see there's a little LCD screen. This is Call of Duty Black Ops, which is pretty sweet. And let's lower the volume again. There's 4 different settings. You got your signal strength, which is just like a Wi-Fi strength on an internet connection. Over here it had your battery readings for both the car and the LCD controller. Now I'm a little confused because ever since this is brand new batteries I put into both, and it's already saying that the car, as soon as I put the batteries in, brand new batteries, was at a reduced charge. It wasn't at a full charge. So I don't know if that's just a problem with the readout, or maybe the batteries I put in there suck. They were some pretty shitty third-party generic batteries. You get speed in your bottom right-hand corner, meaning you can have this thing go at low speed or high speed. That's low speed. And you can actually soup it up and have it go even faster, as you can see, and actually have this guy go do some serious fucking speed. Holy shit. But I'm obviously, for my purposes, I'm just leaving it on low speed. And then your volume indicators in your lower left-hand corner of your LCD, which, like I said, you can adjust. Now what you're seeing there on the screen, that's right, this guy actually has a small camera that reads what's in front of us. Right now you're seeing my entertainment center. Right now you're seeing my coffee table. Oops. It's a little hard to control for me because I've never had an RC car before, so I'm not really used to it. There you go. Now you really got a good view of my coffee table, up close and personal. But it's pretty neat. I mean, having a portable LCD screen like this and having this thing drive around, a kid could have a ball with this thing. Or this could probably be, I hate to say it, but this could probably be the source of many practical jokes, many hijinks for people in college or whatever, driving into like the women's locker room and shit, just being assholes. I mean, the potential is there for hilarity, let's put it that way. And there it goes. Inevitably, it gets stuck. Oh, actually, I got it unstuck. Well, now it's stuck over there in the corner. Here it comes. So it's pretty neat. Pretty cool because it's not just a remote control car, it's also a LCD screen. It's also, you can go forward and backward. As you can see, the trigger is dual action. If you pull it, it goes forward. If you push it up, it goes backward, as you can see. And you've got a trim control, meaning you can actually control the direction of the front wheels to go left or right. Because if you remember when I first took this out of the box, I said it looked like the wheels were forced in one direction. That was just because of the packaging, but you can actually adjust it with the trim. So you can have it go either left or right or straight. It's actually a little bit hard to get it to go straight, to be completely honest, probably because of the way they packaged it, but nothing's perfect. Fully adjustable volume is pretty cool. Speed adjustment is pretty cool. So overall, this is a pretty cool thing. If you were to buy this at a hobby shop, this thing would probably cost you like, anywhere between $50 and $100. So I can understand for the Prestige Edition why they charge $150. I mean, it's pretty much a fully functional RC car with some pretty cool bonuses like the built-in camera and the microphone. Now, one bummer about this car is that they decided to put the fake C4 on top. So good luck getting your kid to drive this through a public area, because anyone that sees this is going to fucking flip out and think that your kid's a terrorist. So unfortunately in that regard, I don't think that this is going to be much good. But I think if your kid wants to just drive this around the house, have some fun, they could. It's got a plastic front, which serves as a pretty good bumper. I banged it around today, drove it into a couple of my walls, and there's no paint or anything that came off. There's your spy cam right in front. That's your little spy. Oh my god, in fact, it's showing my face right now. Look at that. That's pretty scary. And that's your microphone on top. So pretty sweet overall. A pretty decent addition. In fact, I'm going to go out on a wall and say basically this is probably one of the best things that you could get with a special edition of a game. Because usually you get some really silly collectible. Like last year they gave you those fake night vision goggles from Modern Warfare 2, and it was like, they're not real night vision, so they kind of work but not really, and what the fuck are you going to do with them? You know? Or how about Halo 3? When Halo 3 came with a fake Spartan helmet that was small and couldn't fit a human. I mean, I could see if they had a plastic replica Spartan helmet that actually fit and you could wear it to parties and shit, like on Halloween, but that thing didn't even fit. So it was like, what the fuck was the point of that? You know, those are stupid collectibles. This is a practical collectible. If you're a kid, you can use it, or you can give it as a present to a kid. They'll love it. You can use it yourself if you're in college to fuck around with people. I mean, it's pretty cool. So overall, I think this is a really good thing to have with an addition of a game. Now, it's a shame that they probably are never going to sell this by itself as an RC car. I mean, how often do you see an RC car that has a built-in spy cam, microphone, and LCD screen? Almost never. So I'm not, you know, it's a shame but that you have to buy the game to get it. But if you like Black Ops, you might as well go for it. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure how many more are left out there, because from what I've heard, people actually bought the shit out of these because they thought this was a really neat thing, and I agree. So I'm going to actually give this a rating as an RC car itself. I'm not giving this is not by no means is this some kind of a rating of the game itself, but just as a bonus, this RC car with LCD screen, with spy cam and microphone gets a 4 out of 5. It's really good. The only thing that I'm a little disappointed about is that it has the C4 on top, so you can't drive this in public, and also that the wheels don't always point perfectly straight. In fact, it's actually very difficult to get them to point perfectly straight. And I'm not sure if that's the design of the car, or that because the packaging might have fucked it up in transit, who knows. But it's pretty sweet. And it also comes with this stand. I showed you this yesterday, but I'll go ahead and show it to you again. That's the stand that it's supposed to sit on. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, I am zoomed out. Back up a little bit. And I believe there's this particular way you're supposed to angle this guy when putting it on this stand, so that it like lines up with its undercarriage and basically holds it in place. Now, I still haven't perfected that. Aha, here it is. That's the precise angle, and there, of course, it fucking goes. It's got a precise angle you're supposed to put it on that will hold it in place. So there it is. So there's your RC car precisely angled on the display stand that comes with it, so that you could actually put it on display in a display case, a bookcase, whatever you want to do. Pretty cool. They understand obviously you're not going to be driving the car around all the time, so they give you that display stand. That was a neat extra as well. So again, the RC car, pretty neat. The one thing I can't speak to right now is battery life, because I didn't spend a day driving the damn thing around. Maybe I'll fart around with it a little bit on this weekend and see if I can actually give it a legitimate test of battery life. But for what it is and for the features it has, I give it a 4 out of 5. So pretty cool addition. Again, I recommend if anyone wants Call of Duty Black Ops, they have the opportunity to pick up the Prestige Edition and they like something like a neat extra like this, I think this is something really cool to have, and it's worth the money. So go check it out. What's up? Welcome to another edition of DSP Tries It, and this will more than likely be the last edition talking about Cafe Press merchandise series, simply because I'm done. I've pretty much covered everything that I purchased. What I have here are a couple of shirts that I purchased from Cafe Press. and I've gotten many questions regarding these shirts as to what is the print style, what is the size of the shirts, do the shirts, are they tight fitting, are they loose fitting, things like that. So let me answer a couple of these questions, and it's basically going to be, the answer unfortunately is, it all depends. If you have not checked out the site, Cafe Press /DarkSidePhil, I've got something like 60 different shirts up. I'm not even exaggerating. They have ringer t-shirts like this. This is called the ringer style because it actually has a colored ring around the neck and around the arms. This is a little bit more of a tight-fitting t-shirt. They've got regular t-shirts like this one, which is more of a loose-fitting t-shirt. You can get what's called a men's fitted t-shirt or an organic t-shirt. Those are more of the tighter-fitting t-shirts, but they also cost a couple bucks extra. And the bottom line is this: you can get whatever you really want. Depending on what color you order is going to depend, or is going to determine what the logo is going to be like. So let me explain. This is a white t-shirt. Because this is a white t-shirt, as you can see, this logo is called, I believe what's called screen printed, meaning it is not a laminate logo on here. It's not like something they ironed on. It's actually ink that's ingrained into the fabric of the t-shirt. And so this is not going to easily wash off. It's not going to easily fade unless you're wearing it outside in the sun all the time. It's definitely not going to crack or peel because it's in the fabric. It's not a logo that's ironed on there. So that's the ringer t-shirt, DarkSidePhil logo. Now, a lot of people have seen this and said, oh, well, we like this t-shirt, but what is this? Well, this is, to be completely honest, it is the iron-on style. However, it is not the laminate style. Like, for example, a couple years back, I had this Decepticons t-shirt. I loved it. It had Decepticons logo. It had Megatron coming out of the logo. But it wasn't this style. It was the laminate, which is shiny. Within a year, the whole logo had fallen apart. The thing was in really bad shape, and I was disappointed. This is not that kind. This is the matte format, I want to say. It's not shiny. It's basically, if you, and let me explain what I mean here, if you fold this properly, this logo should last a while, and here's what I mean. A lot of people, when they do their clothes, they fold it right down the middle. You don't do that with logos like this. I don't understand why people think that that's okay to fold creases down the middle of a t-shirt. What you would do is you would carefully fold over the arms, like so, so that when this t-shirt is folded, okay, see, I'm protecting the logo. And now, that logo is not folded, that t-shirt is folded, and that logo is flat. It's flat inside this t-shirt. It's not being bended. It's not being destroyed. Now, the other way to do that is if you want to see what the shirt is, because you maybe have more than one shirt that's blue, obviously you can fold it the other way so that the logo is on top. But be careful, because then if you have that like on the top of your drawer and it's rubbing against your drawer or your you know, whatever you put it in, it might get damaged. But yeah, all of my t-shirts where I have logos like that, I do not fold them down the middle, because here's what happens. Here's a perfect example of what happens when you fold it down the middle, which this one, unfortunately, I did not fold this one, but if you take a look, it's falling apart. The logo, since it's been folded down the middle so many times, look at that. It's being destroyed. It's falling apart because of that. And it's the same format as this shirt, only no one took care of that shirt. People just basically threw it around, folded it however they wanted, and the shirt got destroyed, which sucks because I like the Ghostbusters. But what are you going to do? This shirt, you know, I'm not going to do that. Now, pricing varies greatly. When I made these shirts, I tried to basically put enough variety, excuse me, into the shirts that you could get one for under 20 bucks, but you could get one for way over 20 bucks, but it would be a really high quality shirt. It would be one of those fitted shirts, a little bit higher quality logo. Cafe Press gives you a lot of options when it comes to clothing, okay? So if you're really just, you know, you want to grab something that says DarkSidePhil, but you're not looking to spend too much money, you can get what I believe is called something like it's not the discount shirt. I forget exactly what it was called. But there's a shirt there that's roughly around like 15 bucks. It might even be cheaper. And it might have my logo, but it's very basic. It's a basic white t-shirt. It's basically like buying an undershirt, I would almost say. It's not even like a full quality t-shirt, but that's why it's so cheap. Then you can get like a middle of the road, which would be like this DarkSidePhil ringer, or this hate t-shirt, or you can get the more expensive shirts, which are pretty much, I'd say they're equivalent of if you were to buy a shirt from like a WWE.com, you know, they're $25. $27, and they have the full quality logos. They're probably nicer quality fabric, more of a silky fabric. They're going to fit you better. They're not going to be a looser shirt. So it all depends. And a lot of people have asked me what sizes. Well, Cafe Press determines what sizes are available. So you got to go check out Cafe Press. They'll show you what sizes. Cafe Press does ship internationally. A lot of people have asked me that as well. Yes, they do. But you got to check out the website. Remember, all I did was I put my designs up onto products. They take care of the logistics. So they accept the payments, they ship it, and they deal with all that. So I can't answer most of these questions for you. But overall, I'm actually pleased with the shirts. This shirt, I do like the fact that it's screened, meaning that this logo will probably never come off. But at the same time, I think that this shirt, the logo is a lot more brighter. It's a more vibrant because it's not screened. So it's really like, what are you going for? The nicer looking shirt or the shirt that's going to last you maybe a little bit longer? And that's your decision. Prices vary, like I said. I think the cheapest shirt on there is around $15, and they can go all the way up to over $30 depending on the style of shirt you choose. But also keep in mind there's sweatshirts, there's hoodies, there's all kinds of things that are available. So check it out again, Cafe Press / Darkside Phil. How do I rate these shirts? I would probably rate the Ringer a 3.5, and I would probably rate this shirt a 3. And the only reason I say that is because even though the logo looks a lot nicer on this shirt, this one was cheaper. I think this one was around $20, and that logo is going to last a lot longer. This logo, if you don't take care of it properly, could potentially get damaged. So you got to be sure you're folding it right. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 3 because I wish, again, and see, I'm an honest guy. I even hate on my own freaking products, but I really wish that the prices were cheaper. I wish that you could get this shirt for say $20, but you can't. I know it's a couple bucks more than that because of the prices on Cafe Press, but it is what it is. This is merch for the holiday season, so I hope that now that I'm finally showing it to you, rather than me just wearing it and not addressing it, but me talking about it a little bit has at least settled on in your mind if you're looking to get it or not. And that's that. So this is DSP with another DSP Tries It, signing off.
DSP Tries It.
Alright, so welcome to DSP Tries It. This is a special episode. I've gotten thousands of requests at this point to try this KFC Double Down sandwich. And John Rambo is actually the cameraman today.
Yo.
I told myself I was not going to do this unless I had a friend here to resuscitate me while I was eating it if we had any issues.
I have 911. I have all your contact information, your parents' phone number.
So we just got back from KFC, and this is what this thing looks like. First of all, is that the most oddly shaped chicken breast you've ever seen in your life? It doesn't look like a chicken breast.
It looks like a piece of pie. What is it?
Yeah, it looks like a wedge or
what's
something.
on the other underneath it? Is there bread on it?
No, there's no bread. It's two breasts of chicken, which it looks like to me 2 pieces of melted cheese.
Yeah. Well, how are you supposed to eat this?
I don't know what this orange sauce is.
It's pumpkin sauce for.
Oh, this is disgusting.
How do you cut it, or do you just?
No, you're just supposed to pick it up and eat it with your hands. Look, the cheese melted to the wrapper.
What kind of cheese is that?
Looks like maybe either American or Swiss.
So this is called the Double Down?
It's American cheese and bacon. There's bacon in it.
Bacon, fried chicken, cheese, and another piece.
Whatever the hell that sauce is.
And pumpkin sauce.
So yeah, pumpkin sauce.
Pumpkin cheese. It's a lard, probably.
Now, I did try these wedges, and these wedges are actually very tasty. They're seasoned well.
KFC's got good wedges.
So the wedges are pretty good, but of course look at the grease that's fucking soaked into the box that they've been there for like, you know, a minute, and it's all disgusting. So I'm going to try this thing. This is probably the most unhealthy meal I've ever eaten in my life.
God bless America.
I'm hungry.
You should apologize to all the third world countries that have no food whatsoever.
No, seriously, like this could feed like an African village for like a week. I just don't understand like how we can sell this.
KFC should issue a statement of apology.
You know, before I even, oh my god, I just touched it and my hand's soaked. Let me roll up my sleeves there. This is so disgusting.
I got the medical equipment all ready for you. Those, you know, those things that you rub and shock the guy's chest with.
Okay. All right. The things I do. The things I do.
Taking one for the team today.
Well, my body's taking one. Look at that, the fried.
I had nothing but fruits and vegetables today.
You woke up and had a banana for breakfast.
Exactly. Some cherries.
All right, here we go. Wow. chicken breast is tough.
Oh yeah? Okay. So it's like different textures for different. You know, I don't like that.
I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Because what happens is it structurally starts to collapse.
Yeah, this is like a tough chicken. This is like a softer, juicier chicken. I don't know why that. Like, this is like a really deformed breast.
It's a deformed breast.
I can't wait to look this up and see how many calories and how much fat this has. This has to be like the worst.
The good news is, the good news is you don't have to eat for the next week.
Yeah, exactly. I can pretty much. I won't be hungry till
call it a week.
Till Wednesday.
What's that sauce? Do we know what it is yet?
All I could taste is the chicken. I guess maybe.
You taste nothing but chicken?
Oh, it's Thousand Island.
Okay, Russian?
It tastes like Russian dressing.
Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Like ketchup and mayo mixed together.
Okay, I had a sandwich like this one's called. They call it the Cluckin' Russian. You ever have that sandwich? It's similar to that?
The Cluckin'? Where'd you get that?
Certain restaurants have that. And it's usually a piece of fried chicken with Russian dressing. So maybe they kind of stole that.
Well, I am going to eat this whole thing. I don't know if we want to film the whole thing, but I would say it's not. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes like a chicken breast from Kentucky Fried Chicken, but being that there's so much here, and I'm not too happy that they gave me this like thin ass, fucking tough ass.
What's the best time to eat something like this? Like 3 in the morning?
Yeah, when you should be asleep, when your body doesn't metabolize anything that you're eating, that's when you should eat this because it'll go straight to your fucking ass.
So it's not breakfast food.
Stomach.
It's more for like a lunch.
This is definitely some kind of a massive power meal. If like you're a weightlifter and you're trying to put on mass, this is probably what you want to eat.
It's only good for weightlifters.
I would say probably weightlifters and professional eaters like
okay. Kobayashi could have
might
this.
be able to eat a couple of these,
That's
but
good.
I don't think any normal human being should actually purchase this.
How about like animals? You think they could eat it?
Animals, I think, are too smart. They'll probably stay away from this.
They probably would. They'd smell it, just be like that's not natural.
Like that's not a chicken breast. It is that. Fucking walk away from it.
So animals are smarter than most of KFC's customers.
I'd have to say, on my rating scale, this is a 1 out of 5 because it's just a piece of chicken. But it's so much. Like I'm gonna eat this because this is my meal for today, but. And then with the wedges, can you imagine what the fucking rating is on this meal with these wedges?
It's just irresponsible.
This is like, how could they? I don't understand how they could sell this. Well, then again, I guess there are worse things.
People buy it, like they're going to sell it. So that probably.
So
there's probably some drugs that aren't as bad for you.
Oh my god.
There's probably things that are illegal that are not as bad than this. But
this chicken breast is actually really tasty.
Yeah.
It's the top one I'm worried about. So,
yeah, everyone go out and get one.
That's the double down. I don't know what else to say. It is actually kind of tasty, but it is ridiculous. Like I can feel the salt stinging my fucking tongue right now. That's how much is on it. I can tell. This is probably like half this container of sodium is probably, you know.
That's how you know it's good.
It's in this thing. So, all right, I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna go check myself into the hospital. So I'll see you guys later.
Later.
DSP tries it.
What's up, everyone? It is DSP, and welcome to another edition of DSP Tries It. This one's a long time coming. A lot of people earlier this year, when I created my DSP gaming channel, I had done a preliminary review of a couple new joysticks that were basically brand new models at the time, but I hadn't had a significant amount of time to play on these joysticks yet. And so I wanted to basically go and go to a couple tournaments and give them a fair shake and try them out and then come back and give you some feedback. Well, unfortunately I got busy and really didn't have a chance to do that, so now I'm taking the opportunity to do that. The first stick we're going to talk about is the Hori Arcade Fight Stick Tournament Edition S. This is the stick that was released earlier this year to coincide with the release of Super Street Fighter 2. I'm sorry, Super Street Fighter 2. Super Street Fighter 4. As you can see right there on the front, that's exactly what the art says. Two different models of this stick. Well, first of all, you can get it for either Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, your choice. And depending on what you get, you'll get different, different setting up here. Obviously, if it's a PlayStation 3 stick, it doesn't have the Xbox Live logo there or anything like that. And the button coloration is different as well, depending on which stick you get. Now, you can also get two different art styles. There's this one right here, which is the Ryu and Ken dual art style with a white top. There's also one with a black top with just Ryu. I personally think they're both pretty cool, but I think the black one's a little bit neater. I just happened to be that this is the one that I had on top of my stack of sticks, so I wanted to show it to you. Now, this joystick uses all Sanwa parts. Now, I've gotten the question 100 times. Phil, what's the difference between Sanwa and Famitsu? What does that even mean? And what's the best one? Okay? Basically, in Japan, there's two major companies who are in competition in regards to creating parts for Japanese arcade sticks and arcade cabinets. One company is called Sanwa, and one company is called Famitsu. Sanwa, at least for the most part, when it comes to home joysticks like this one, seems to be the market leader. Famitsu, from what I'm to understand, actually is making some headway in the Japanese arcade market, meaning if you were to go to Japan and go to one of their arcades, chances are, more often than not, you'd be playing on Famitsu controls. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to review this Sanwa stick. I'm going to tell you its features. I'm going to tell you what the advantages of having Sanwa parts, and then later I will also make a review of a Famitsu stick that I have, and I'll explain those parts as well. But anyway, this stick, right off the bat, I think it's really neat because unlike the previous stick from last year, unlike some other sticks that have been made by Hori in the past, basically this top it's a shiny top because it has this nice artwork on it. You're not going to get nasty looking fingerprints or anything on this stick. It's always going to look pretty sweet, even if it isn't the cleanest. And that's a plus because I remember the original Hori joysticks for the PlayStation 2, this was really when the Japanese style joysticks became mainstream in the United States. They had this metallic top, silverish, and the thing got dirty all the time. It just looked disgusting. And you always had to constantly be cleaning it and wiping it. It was almost like a mirror finish, and that was a pain in the ass. So having a top like this is definitely an advantage. Now, the joysticks, Sanwa joysticks themselves, okay, are probably, if I were to describe between a Sanwa and a Famitsu, I would say Sanwa is the tighter of the two. And what I mean is, it seems like there's a less of a distance between neutral position, which is what a joystick is when no one's touching it, and moving it all the way in one extreme of a direction. It seems like there's less of a movement needed to hit that extreme, okay? And that means that when you're doing moves, it's going to be probably slightly quicker to do a Dragon Punch or a Fireball than it's going to be on a Famitsu stick. There's pros and cons to that. The pros is that if you really need to get something out super fast, you can probably get it out a lot easier. The con is that if you need to do a move where you need to kind of revert to neutral first, it could be a little bit more difficult. Because let's say you're holding forward, now you need to do a Dragon Punch. Well, to do a Dragon Punch, it's forward, neutral, down, down forward, plus punch. A Famitsu stick, it actually snaps to neutral a little bit easier because of just the way it is. It's a looser stick. This is a tighter stick of the two, so it's a little bit harder to go like that in one motion. With the Famitsu, it's a little bit easier. So there's pros and cons, like I said, and it all depends on your own personal gaming style. It depends on what stick you spend more time with. I personally have played on Sanwa sticks a hell of a lot more than I've played on Famitsu sticks, and therefore I find that there's certain things I could do on Sanwa easier than I could do on Famitsu. For example, and I know this is going to sound weird, I could probably do 360s, and when I mean that, I mean command throws like Zangief's spinning pile driver. I can do a lot easier on a Sanwa stick than I can do on a Famitsu stick, and the reason for that is because I think it's a shorter distance to the extreme, so I can just go like that very quickly to get that 360 motion and get the throw. However, I find it a lot harder to do moves on the fly, on reaction, on a Sanwa stick. I think it's a little bit easier on a Famitsu because if it's a move where you need to revert back to the neutral state, the Famitsu can do that a little bit faster because it's a looser type stick. I know if you've played on these sticks before, you probably understand what I'm saying. If you haven't, unfortunately, it's really hard to articulate in words. It's really more of a feel to the stick. Basically, this stick feels like there's a little bit more resistance as you move it around, but the trade-off is that it's less of a distance to travel to get to your extreme. The Famitsu stick feels like there's almost no resistance. It almost feels like the stick is floating in air, but at the same time, it seems like there's more of a distance to hit the extreme. And I'll show you that when I review a Famitsu stick. But anyway, there's pros and cons to both sticks. I really don't think that there's a definitive choice by anyone in the competitive gaming community. Most Americans are using Sanwa parts, but I only think that's because, like I said, when the Hori sticks for the PS2 came over to the United States, they came with Sanwa parts. So I think Hori really kind of pushed that back in the day. Now today, Hori actually offers sticks with both. So now you can take your pick, and it's like, well, it's your personal preference. Now, what also I want to talk about are the Sanwa buttons. Sanwa buttons, in my opinion, are the best buttons. And the only reason I say that is because, as you can see here with these buttons, I'll zoom in a little bit for you. These buttons are very easy to press. They're very, very, very low, okay? American buttons are chunky buttons, okay? American buttons are probably 2 to 3 times as tall as these buttons, so it takes longer to push them in and get a response. These buttons are very low to the stick, very contoured to the stick, and so all you need to do is tap it, and immediately you're going to get a response when you press that button. And it's also the click style, where you hear a nice, firm click on your button when you push it. If you push it and you don't feel that click, or it feels mushy, you can tell when your button's broken or needs a cleaning. And so, just a little pro tip for anyone: to clean one of these is really, really, really easy. You just take some Windex, you spray it on top, you take a paper towel, you wipe it into the button. It's okay to let a little bit of Windex soak into a button like this, because it'll actually get all the grime and the nastiness out from in between the grooves of the button. Just don't soak the thing. Just get a little bit of Windex in there, rub it down, and you'll actually fix a button that otherwise you might have thought was broken. But anyway, from my personal tournament experience, I think that these buttons are excellent. I think that you get the quickest reaction from these buttons, and once you get used to them, if you play with these Japanese-style Sanwa buttons over American buttons, you can actually do better things. And I stand by that statement. I think that because they're more reactive, because they're easier to get a response out of, you can do better combos. It's easier to do links. It's a better button overall than American buttons, American style. So, in my opinion, I think Sanwa's the best. Other people might argue that Famitsu is the best, which is more of a plunger style, and we'll talk about that when I review a Famitsu stick. But overall, what do I think of this stick? Well, from what I'm to understand, I actually went to the store the other day. They're still selling these for $140. The price is not reduced yet, and that's unfortunate because last year there were 2 different models of Street Fighter 4 joystick. There was the standard edition, which was just the joystick that was a mini version of this. Basically, it didn't have any of this on the side. It was kind of like this small, and those were going for, originally I believe they were going for $70, and by late last year, those things were going for like $40. That's the price dropped dramatically. Then they also had their regular tournament edition, so it's basically the predecessor to this stick. It didn't have nice art or anything like that, but it was basically the same layout of the stick. Those originally were going for like $150, and I saw those around for like $90. So I was like, wow, that's a really good value, for the joystick. Well, this year it seems like these sticks, the prices have not gone down, but I would guarantee you that next year, with the release of games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and the new Mortal Kombat, there will probably be a whole new slew of joysticks that will be released for those. And once that happens, probably the prices for this joystick will go down. So right now, it started as $150. I'm still seeing it in stores for $140. But I would guarantee you that once the new versions of the joysticks are released, this will go down in price. So, the only other thing that I do want to mention is that it is a heavy stick. They've purposely weighted this stick to weigh something like 5 to 6 pounds because they want it to have some weight on your knees when you're playing a game. Most people these days, when they don't play on a table like this. They actually sit down and place the joystick on top of their knees. Simply because when you go to a tournament setting, they don't always have tables for people to set up on and things like that, but you should usually be able to get a chair. So it is a little bit of a heavier stick, but that was done purposely to aid you in a tournament. If this stick weighed nothing, if this stick was light as hell, when you go to do a move, it might actually move off of your lap, and therefore you lose your positioning, and you might not be able to block, and it might throw you off during a tournament match. So that's why they do that. So overall, how do I rate this stick? Well, sorry. Sorry about that. Ooh. That's what happens when you play games for freaking 24 hours on a midnight release. But anyway, how do I rate this stick? I would say, for the total package, I'm not rating the parts individually, but as a total package, considering it has an official Sanwa joystick, official Sanwa buttons, a pretty neat top with artwork like that. And by the way, just so everyone knows, because some people asked when I first showed this, the start and select buttons are on top, and they do that on purpose because they don't want you to accidentally hit those during a tournament match. And also there is cord storage on the top. This cord, it's a very long cord, actually wraps up and goes inside of the joystick. So when you're traveling, this cord is not loose all over the place. It actually is stored inside the joystick. I'm going to give this stick a 4. And the only reason I give it a 4, excuse me, is because I've still seen some problems with these, which I know sounds odd, but I've seen people mashing. So what I mean by mashing is there's a move in a game where you have to press buttons or the joystick for additional hits. I've seen these joysticks malfunction and still pause and do things during a match, so it's still possible that that could happen. So I have to give it a 4. It's not perfect. I still stand by the statement that if you make a custom stick, that's how you're going to make the perfect joystick, because you get to pick your parts, pick the coloration of your parts, pick the artwork, everything. You know, this stick is great, but for $140, I would wish that I could get my own art. I would wish that I could not get the fucking stupid Xbox colored buttons. And even on the PS3, most of these buttons are grayish. And it's like, I don't want gray buttons. What if I want, you know, a different color? Why am I limited to what they made the buttons the color of? You know, if I'm paying that big time kind of money, I want to be able to get what I want custom. So, you know, I think that these joysticks for the price, $140, you're going to get what you pay for. For, you know, I think a really nice custom joystick, you pay $200 for it, but it's going to last you 5 years, and it's got custom stuff on it, you know, artwork, your own color and things like that, logos and stuff. I think that's worth a lot more. So, anyway, as a retail bought joystick out of the box, I give this Hori Tournament Edition Arcade Fight Stick S a 4 out of 5. Stay tuned, because I will be doing another DSP Tries It with the Famitsu sticks to explain the comparison between the two. So, anyway, this has been another episode of DSP Tries It, and I hope you enjoyed it.
DSP Tries It.
What is up? It is DSP with another episode of DSP Tries It, and following along with the episode that I recently did covering a Sanwa joystick, this one is a Famitsu joystick, and what that means is it has the competing version of control style from Japanese controls, and this has all Famitsu joystick and also Famitsu buttons. So what I want to do primarily here is explain the difference between Sanwa and Famitsu, give a little bit of my opinion about the two, which I think is better in my opinion, and then give this joystick an overall rating itself. Excuse me. First of all, this is a stick made by Hori. It is the Real Arcade Pro EXSE, and the SE stands for Famitsu, actually. Well, actually, they say Special Edition, but that's bullshit. It's really supposed to be for Famitsu. And, first of all, Famitsu sticks. You're going to notice right off the bat, when I move this stick around, it sounds different from a Sanwa. You can usually tell a Famitsu stick from the very high-pitched clicking. It almost sounds a little bit hollow, like there's, you know, hear what I hear? It almost sounds like there's an echo inside of the stick. Famitsu sticks are two things. They are a little bit looser than a Sanwa stick, meaning it's a little bit less resistance to move this stick around. I think I described it in the Sanwa stick review. It's almost like moving this around in air. There's not that much resistance, but at the same time, it feels like there is a slightly larger distance to get this thing to go to an extreme direction. So with the Sanwa click, you're already there. Here in Sumitsu, it's like, oh, now you're there. So it's a very minute difference. It's not giant, don't get me wrong, but it still does feel like there is a difference. One of the things I like about the Sumitsu joystick is that since it is a lighter stick, there's less resistance, it's easier for that stick to revert to neutral. So if I'm going to be just standing still and all of a sudden, or if I'm walking forward and then all of a sudden someone jumps at me and I'm Ryu Ken and I need to do a dragon punch, I release the joystick and then go down, forward, press punch, and I usually get a dragon punch because it easily reverts to neutral. With the Sanwa stick, it's a little bit harder to get it to revert to neutral if you need it to on the fly. And that's probably because it gives a little bit more resistance to the stick. But at the same time, I actually find it pretty difficult for me, and this is just for me, compared to a Sanwa stick, to do something like a command throw with full 360, like Zangief spinning pile driver, because for me it feels like it's a greater distance to have to do that motion on this stick because it's a looser stick, and like I said, it seems like there is a little bit more distance to hit those extreme directions, so I technically have to do the motion a little bit faster on this stick than I'd have to do it on the Sanwa, and I usually fuck that up. So personally, it's all on you. What do you feel like is the better stick choice for your competition? Personally, I recommend you sit down with both because I've played on both, and I found that once you get accustomed to either stick, both of them are fine for tournament standards. If you have a certain game plan that you like to do, like for example, if I were going to play Shotos like Ryu and Ken and Akuma all the time, I might actually opt for a Sumitsu stick over a Sanwa. But if I were going to pick other characters, I might opt for the Sanwa. So it all depends on your playing style. Now let's talk about the Sumitsu buttons. Sumitsu buttons are a little bit different than Sanwa buttons, okay? Now remember, when I said with Sanwa buttons, I said they're very, very low to the stick, very contoured to the stick, unlike American buttons that are chunky. Well, these Sumitsu buttons, even though they are low to the stick, they're a little bit higher than Sanwa buttons. In fact, I'd say they're in between an American button and a Sanwa button. And I like to call these a plunger style, because as you hear, it's not a click sound you get when you press these. Remember with the Sanwa it was click, click, click? Here you get like a plunge, plunge, plunge. It's almost like a plunger going into a cylinder. That's what it feels like when you push these buttons. And so, even though you might not get as fast as a reaction as you get from a Sanwa, in my opinion, it's really such a negligible difference. It doesn't make that much of a difference. And for me, when I push a button like this, like for example, if I were playing with Zangief, okay, or Zangief, however you want to pronounce it, and I want to do a spinning clothesline, when I do it on here, I feel like I did it with authority. I can feel the buttons plunging into the stick, and I can tell that I did it properly. When I did it on a Sanwa, I might be a little bit questioning of myself because it's such a minute amount of force that's needed to push those buttons. I might say, shit, I accidentally pushed one of the buttons earlier than the other two, and that's why my spinning clothesline didn't come up. But on this, I know I pushed all three of those buttons at the same time because they're plungers, they have the same amount of resistance, and really when you're doing combos and things, you can feel assured that you confirmed your hits by pushing down these plunging buttons. Some people have actually told me they do prefer the Sumitsu buttons, and I can understand that. If you're playing with a character who's a character who relies a lot on having confident combos, on making sure that you're doing hit confirms, and if you accidentally, ooh, I threw out that button by accident, this might be the stick for you, because to be completely honest, the Sanwa buttons, even though they have the better reaction time in my opinion, they can get a little bit touchy. Like you could be going for a combo, right? Or you could be buffering a move. Let's say you're buffering a super. You have Ryu, and you're buffering a super fireball. You're waiting for your opponent to throw a fireball so you can blow through it with your own super. You could be buffering, 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 and on here, you'll be buffering, 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 and then you're fine. On a Sanwa, you might accidentally be buffering, and oops, it activates, and you're like, what the fuck? I swear to God I didn't push that button. But the Sanwa buttons are that touchy that even if you're kind of like just gently tapping the top, hovering above it, you might accidentally activate it. And that is the downfall of the Sanwa button, in my opinion. So you really, I think the Sanwa button, you have to play on it a lot. You have to get a lot of experience on it to make sure you don't get accidental inputs. The Famitsu will probably be a little bit easier for the beginner because they are they're similar to American buttons, where you definitely need to basically hit the button hard to confirm what you're doing. So there's trade-off. There's pros and cons. Obviously, if you need to push it a little bit harder, you need to make sure that, you know, oh, I'm sure that I pushed the button. Well, maybe you're not going to get as fast of a reaction time as you wanted without significant amount of practicing. So it's all up to your own play style and what you prefer and what you think is the better stick. Now, in my opinion, if you just want me to compare this joystick, this Hori EXSE joystick, to the previous joystick that I reviewed, which was the Mad Catz Tournament Edition SE. Well, number one, as you can see, this does not have any artwork. It's a black top. And I did mention that a previous Hori stick for the PlayStation 2 had a metallic top where you can get fingerprints all over it. This isn't as bad, but it is a little bit bad because I can see right now, you might not be able to see it on camera, but I can see fingerprints down here and up here because it is a shiny type of top. So that is a little bit of a bummer that you can see fingerprints all over the thing. The other thing is, it doesn't have all the adjustments that Hori stick had. I'm sorry, that Mad Catz stick had, excuse me. For example, up here, as you can see, it doesn't have any turbo adjustments or anything like that. It does, in its favor, it does have the microphone jack, okay? But the Xbox 360 joysticks for Mad Catz also have a microphone jack at the bottom. So it's really nothing added. It's just like they moved the microphone jack from the bottom up here and there's no turbos. Now keep in mind, though, that the turbos are not allowed in tournament play anyway. So, you know, if you learn to use them at home, it might be a detriment to you if you ever go to a tournament and then realize you can't use the turbos. So, are the turbos a nice thing to have? Sure. Usually, if you're not playing a Street Fighter game is when you use the turbos anyway. But if you're using this as a competitive stick, it's really not that big of a deal. But the one complaint that I do have about this stick, you're actually going to see it right off the bat because it's pretty funny that this happened. The cord on this joystick is not very long. It's only about maybe, I don't know, 6 feet, I want to say. As opposed to, like, I think the cord on the Mad Catz stick is 10 to 12 feet, which is very good and very long. The problem with this stick, number one, you can't store the cord inside like you can with the Mad Catz stick. And number two, because the cord is shorter, thank God for the Xbox 360 having a breakaway cord, because as you can see, what happened to me on this one was I was unplugging it, and the cord was so short, I pulled it by accident, and I yanked it, and the end came off. Now, there's the end that you put on there, and that has the USB cable that you plug into your 360, but I really, really wish that the cords for the Hori sticks, that number one, they were longer, and number two, they had some storage solution, because they really don't. Usually you end up having to get, like, some kind of a rubber band or something to wrap up the cord, in order to store it, which is a bummer, having a cord that's external to your stick flapping around, when on the flip side you could buy a Hori stick where the cord gets stored inside and it's not as much of a mess. So overall, how do I rate this stick? I think that the Famitsu controls are still perfectly viable controls. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Like I said, I think it's really a difference between personal preferences. I think each version of Sanwa and Famitsu have pros and cons. So for me, I would have to say this joystick I rated a 3.5, and the only reason it gets a 3.5, a little bit lower than the Mad Catz, is the cord issues. The cord's shorter, and it doesn't have any built-in storage. I think it should have both of those things. So, alright, that is it for this episode of DSP Tries It. This will wrap it up so far for the joystick reviews. I just wanted to get a Sanwa stick and a Famitsu stick out of the way because a lot of people had questions about the difference between the controls and what I found after playing with them, and now you have that knowledge, so hopefully that'll help you to make your decision if you're going to buy a joystick or maybe order custom parts for your own joystick. I hope to do more DSP Tries It in the future that aren't food, and that's exactly what I've been trying to do, so I hope that you're enjoying the variety. I'm going to keep doing this kind of thing, but not to say that I'm going to stop doing food and drinks and things like that, but I do want to mix it up a little bit, so I'm going to try that in the future. Alright, thanks.
DSP Tries It.
What is up, everyone? It's DSP, and we've come full circle. And the reason I say that is because I believe the first video. No, actually, it might have been the second DSP Tries It video that I had ever tried. Was the BK Big Breakfast. And the reason I had done that one was because it was brand new at the time. They were advertising it all over TV. Well, ever since I did that one, I've actually been asked to do the same thing for McDonald's because people want to see a comparison between the two. They want to know between the two which is the best one. So here we are. This is exactly the same thing from McDonald's. I'm not even sure what McDonald's calls it. I just asked for like the big breakfast meal when I got there. Again, I want to emphasize with everyone that this video series is for review purposes only. I'm not necessarily going to eat this entire breakfast, especially since the BK breakfast kind of grossed me out. I doubt I'm going to eat this entire breakfast from McDonald's. But anyway, it's got the exact same things that the Burger King breakfast had. The one major difference that I notice is that the egg does not even attempt to look like a real scrambled egg. You can tell this is a tube-style egg, meaning it's like, you know, whatever egg it is that they use, they throw it on the grill, they cook it, and they chop it up into sections. And so this doesn't even look like any kind of a normal scrambled egg. It looks pretty odd, to be honest with you. 3 pancakes, you get your biscuit, your sausage patty, and a hash brown. For the purposes of taste, I am not going to add butter or syrup to the pancakes. I just want to taste them raw. But first we'll start off with what I started off with, I believe, with the Burger King breakfast, which was the eggs. Let's see what this tastes like. Now, a lot of people have said, gee, Phil, why don't you aim the camera at yourself so we can see you eating? And my answer is this, because that's fucking disgusting. No one wants to see me chewing breakfast at 6:17 in the morning. So, that's nasty, and no, I'm not going to do it. The immediate difference I can tell you in the eggs is that these McDonald's eggs taste very bland. And that might be a good thing, because if you remember, the Burger King eggs had a nasty aftertaste. They tasted like they had salt and sugar in them, but they had this really bad aftertaste. These don't have any aftertaste. They just taste like a normal, bland scrambled egg. You know, almost as if someone had blended the yolk and the white together. This really does taste like a real scrambled egg, even though it looks disgusting. I have to say that's actually better than Burger King scrambled eggs. It doesn't have a disgusting aftertaste. Let's try the sausage. Actually, I'm not going to be able to cut that sausage. Let's just take a bite out of here. Let's see what this is like. I'm sure this is this. Oh my god, I can see the grease. Oh my god, look at that grease. Oh my god. I'm going to take one small bite. Oh. Oh my god, that is disgustingly fatty. Just like the Burger King sausage patty. It's so fucking fatty. Oh my god. So that is horrible for you. Oh, all I could taste is like grease. Oh, it's disgusting. Let's actually take a bite of the hash brown as well. Oh my god. That is so fucking greasy. Oh, I wish I had a picture. I threw out the napkin. The hash brown was inadvertently laying against the napkins in my bag. And when I pulled the napkins out of my bag, they were soaked. I mean, really just disgustingly soaked in grease. So, the sausage and hash brown are absolutely disgusting. Soaked in grease. I mean, do they have flavor? Absolutely. But they, oh my, I can even feel it burning my throat. There's so much grease in it. I actually feel it going down my throat right now from swallowing it. Oh, that is so bad for you. Now let's try the McDonald's pancakes and compare these with the Burger King. Because if you remember, the Burger King were really sweet. They almost tasted like a sweet, sweet muffin. I'm curious to see what the flavor of the McDonald's pancake is compared to the Burger King. Whoops. There we go. Wow, I'm going to be honest with you. The McDonald's pancake is very bland. There's almost no flavor to it at all. This is like the definition of factory food. Nothing on this plate is natural. Everything has been fully processed in a factory. Probably has 100 chemicals in it to preserve it so that they could sell it as a breakfast. The only thing I have not tried at this point is the biscuit. Let's take a bite of that. Let's see what that's like. Oh boy. Okay. I can tell you right now, the biscuit's the best part of this breakfast. The biscuit is actually very buttery. If you remember when I talked about the Burger King biscuit, I said the major problem with it is that it was not buttery at all. This is very buttery. It's a delicious biscuit. In fact, I kind of want to go back and just eat that biscuit, and that's it. So overall, how do I rate this breakfast? Oh boy. Bland eggs, although they do not have the nasty aftertaste that the Burger King eggs had. So that is a plus. Revoltingly fatty sausage and hash browns, although the same can be said about Burger King. Pancakes, which are extremely bland, but a biscuit that's actually buttery and tasty. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, comparing the two, I think I actually like the Burger King breakfast better, and here's why. The pancakes were tasty like a muffins, very sweet. The eggs, although they had a nasty aftertaste, actually tasted good on the way down. And the hash browns of Burger King are seasoned better than the hash browns of McDonald's. They really are. The sausage is like a draw because the sausage is pretty fucking nasty no matter where you get it. The biscuit, although it's better at McDonald's, I don't think it's enough to pull the whole breakfast together. Right now, all I really want to do is eat the biscuit, and that's it. And that's not good enough for me. That's, you know, I just went and spent $4.79, $5, whatever it was. I don't want to spend $5 on a biscuit. I kind of wish I bought something else right now. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to give the McDonald's, whatever this is called, the giant breakfast platter, a 2. It fills you up, absolutely, and it's actually cheaper than Burger King's, but it's pretty nasty. It's pretty bland and flavorless, and for what it is, the only thing that's really tasty is the biscuit. So unfortunately, it gets a 2. That's sad. I really did think that the McDonald's was going to be better than Burger King, but it's not. It's actually worse. Blah. So anyway, this is DSP with another DSP Tries It.
DSP tries it.
What's up? It's DSP, and this is something a lot of people have actually asked me to do since Domino's has now announced that they have new pizza that's newly redone with different cheese, different ingredients, improved crust, and improved sauce. So this is Domino's, and this is just cheesy bread. Cheesy bread is cheesy bread. I'm not going to show you that, but what we basically have here is they have a deal right now that you can buy 3 medium pizzas with any toppings, unlimited, for $7 each. So I did it. One of them I actually got a 6-topping pizza. The other 2 I got were specialty pizzas. One's the Honolulu Hawaiian, which I've never had. And the other one's a Wisconsin 6 cheese, which is actually their new pizza. So what I'm actually going to do here, I'm going to take a slice of each of these 3 pizzas and try it out and let you know what I think to see if they've improved it. This is their regular style pizza here. Now this has 6 ingredients. This is, I believe, bacon, ham, pepperoni, mushroom, green pepper, and roasted red pepper. So we'll grab a slice of that. There we've got the Honolulu Hawaiian, which I've never tried before. Now the Honolulu Hawaiian has pineapple, ham, and actually I screwed up on this one. It has beef, not ham. This one has pineapple, ham, some special cheeses, bacon, and roasted red pepper. So we'll try a slice of that. This is all on their standard new crust, supposedly, which I guess is supposed to have a garlic flavoring to it, from what I've read and heard. And then finally, we've got the new pizza that just came out. Box is not closing. The Wisconsin 6 cheese, which, whoa, looks like the delivery guy bumbled that one because it looks like it's falling off. It's supposed to have 6 different kinds of cheese. I believe it's like provolone, Asiago, cheddar, regular American, maybe 1 or 2 others. So let's grab a slice of that too. And I will let you know what I feel about all 3 of these. And I'll let you know if I think that this has really been improved from the previous Domino's or not. I'll be honest with you, I hated the old Domino's, and I've said this about this many times in my videos. I thought the quality was awful. Basically, it was like cardboard, and the only reason I would think people would ever buy it is because it was cheap. It was basically, they used to have a 5-5-5 deal where you could get 3 medium pizzas with 1 topping for $5 each. Now think about that. $5 each for a pizza, a medium pizza. You could probably eat that 3-4 meals. So you're talking 3 to 4 meals for $15, less than $5 a meal. You know, people thought, oh, this is a real cheap way to, you know, to have dinner. And that was the main reason why people would be ordering Domino's, because they didn't want to spend a lot of money on their food. So hold on a second, let me set up here. And we'll try this out, and we'll see how I feel about these 3 different pizzas. I'll try a slice of each right now. I'm not going to necessarily eat the entire slice, but just taste it. I'll let you know what I think. And this is cool. Watch this. Everyone loves this table because you can bring it up and it's like a dinner table right here at your waist height. Got my drink. Alright, so let me just make sure the camera's aligned with that table. It is. And so, I'm going to review the 3 pizzas here. Well, actually, I'll just review overall. I'm not going to give each pizza an individual review, but I'll let you know what I think my review is. So, first of all, we've got the Wisconsin 6 cheese. Let's take a bite of that. It's supposed to be just cheese, basically, and sauce, and the new crust. It's definitely very cheesy. The sauce has a little bit of a kick to it. It's a little different than the older sauce. The sauce has a little bit of a spice to it. It's not spicy, meaning it's not hot, but it actually has a little bit more flavor than it used to. It used to be a blander sauce. This is interesting. This is pretty good for a cheese pizza. Of course, keep in mind, this isn't on their menu as a cheese pizza. It's the Wisconsin 6 cheese, which they consider a specialty pizza, which is expensive. I'm actually going to take a bite of the crust, see what the difference is. Tastes pretty bland to me, that crust. I didn't really taste any garlic or anything on that. So let's try the next one. This was the custom pizza I made with the 6 toppings. So it's pepperoni, beef, bacon, green peppers, red peppers, and mushrooms. Let's take a bite of this guy. I have to say, I'm liking the sauce. The sauce is definitely improved. It tastes a lot better than the old sauce. I'm going to also take a bite of the crust on this one and see if I can get any different flavor. Okay. This crust does taste different. It's buttery. The crust is buttery with a hint of garlic. And I guess if you like butter and garlic, that's a good thing, but if you don't like garlic, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, how would you order a Domino's pizza if all their crust now has garlic on it? So that's kind of weird. Alright, finally I'm going to try this Honolulu Hawaiian, which I've never had this before. A Hawaiian pizza with pineapple and such on it. Interesting. I like the ham. The sliced ham is pretty tasty. I'm going to try to bite now with a pineapple. I didn't get a pineapple on that one. going to tell you right now, my opinion, out of the three, I think the Hawaiian's the best one. The ham, the pineapple makes it different tasting than standard pizza, which is pretty good. So like I said, the deal they're running now at Domino's is you can get 3 medium pizzas, any toppings you want, unlimited, for $7 a pie, which is why I got the 6 toppings on this pie. That's not bad. The other one that they're running is you can get 2 medium pizzas with 2 toppings each for $5.99 each. Sorry, I don't consider 2 toppings enough to pay $6. If I'm going to pay $7, I want a 6-topping pizza. You know what I mean? Or a specialty pizza like this. So overall, what do I think? The pizza's definitely improved. The sauce tastes better. That's the first thing I mentioned. It was a lot tastier sauce. Has some spices in it. The crust has a buttery garlic flavor. For me, it's okay. But I can see if someone doesn't like garlic, they could pretty much hate this pizza. Price-wise, unfortunately, the prices have gone up. Because like I said, you used to be able to do a $5.55 deal. You can't do that anymore. It doesn't even exist. You can do a $5.55 triple deal. The prices have gone up like 55 cents per pizza, probably because of the ingredients that they supposedly have improved. So overall, Domino's Pizza, for delivery pizza, it's real. First of all, it's not real pizza. It's not. It's manufactured. All this is pre-made, and then they just toss toppings on it and put it in the oven. It's not like a local pizzeria where they're going to make you a fresh pizza. So when you compare it with fast food pizzas like Pizza Hut and other places, unfortunately, I do like Pizza Hut better than Domino's. So I have to say Domino's, this will probably get a 2.5. It's okay. Keep in mind, my old review of Domino's, the original Domino's before they did this, was probably like a 1. I hated it. It was disgusting. This is at least edible. The sauce is good. I really want to get some more of this, dig into this one right here, the Honolulu. It's got the good tasting sauce. It's got some interesting ingredients. And so yeah, so the new Domino's with the better sauce, the better crust, gets a 2.5 from me. Unfortunately, I think that there are way better pizzas out there, even fast food pizzas. And price-wise, now that the prices have gone up, they're losing their competitive edge. So I don't know, Domino's. You really have to think of a better strategy than, oh, we have better ingredients, and by the way, we're going to charge you more money. Because when you have a customer who you've ripped off for years, you charge them cheap, but the pizza was garbage. At least you have to, if you're going to charge them more expensive, you have to really up your ante. And I don't think this is enough to warrant a more expensive price. I think, if anything, they should increase the quality of their ingredients, but keep charging what they used to charge to make up for the years that you basically were eating shit. That's my opinion. But anyway, Domino's Pizza, it's okay. I give it like a 2.5, which is roughly an average rating. So that's it for this episode of DSP Tries It, and I'll see you guys later.
DSP Tries It.
What's up, everyone? Darkside Phil with another episode of DSP Tries It, and today I'm going to try something that's, at least from what I'm going to understand, is brand new to be able to be purchased in like a retail store, and that is the Gatorade G Series. Now, not all Gatorade, obviously. Yes, Gatorade has been popular for over 20 years, but basically they're different kinds of Gatorade that are now being made available. There's not only the regular Gatorade like you see here. This is Gatorade. Now they call this, by the way, G2. It still says Gatorade on the bottle, but you'll also notice in some stores it says G2 on the bottle. It's because there's now 3 different kinds of Gatorade. There's this, which is G1, there's G2, and then there's G3. Okay, now let me explain supposedly what this is supposed to do and what the difference is supposed to be. Gatorade now has 3 levels of drink, if you can believe it. I know it sounds like a gimmick, but apparently this is serious. They have one drink that you're supposed to drink before you're about to do something athletic, or basically if you need an energy boost before you're about to do something, you're supposed to drink the G1, okay? The G2, you're supposed to drink during this activity that will probably be like strenuous physical activity to replenish sugars and carbs. And then there's a G3, which I don't have right now, but I plan on actually getting it. They actually had it at my local store the other day. It's supposed to regenerate the things that you lost while you were working out, and you're supposed to drink that after you finish. So apparently you're just supposed to be a big drinking mess during the entire time that you ever do any physical activity. But anyway, I think the theory behind it is the G1 is a drink with carbs and B vitamins, And if you don't know what B vitamins do, B vitamins are basically vitamins that allow you to process food, allow you to process sugars more efficiently. So this kind of prepares you to be burning a lot of carbs and doing a lot of processing of things in your body. This, which is the G2, is pretty much just sugar. So it's kind of replenishing the sugar that you're burning in step 1. And then the G3, from what I'm to understand, actually has protein in the drink. So it's almost like drinking a minor protein shake, to the point where it's supposed to be replenishing any protein that was broken down while you were exercising, and so that it helps to rebuild that protein afterwards. So interesting concept. I understand what they're going with this. I don't really know if anyone's going to be doing this properly, and it's kind of funny because, you know, Gatorade is Gatorade, and they always push Gatorade as like, oh, this is the athlete's drink, this is all you need to drink when you're working out, and now all of a sudden they have 3 different ones, which is kind of interesting that now here we are how long into this process, and only now have they kind of fessed up and said, oh yeah, well, Gatorade is just a sugar drink, but there's other drinks that you can drink that we're going to sell you now that'll actually help you out better to prep and then after. So interesting to me anyway. So I'm going to try this right now. This Gatorade G1. So all it says right on it, it's called Prime. Okay, it's called Gatorade Prime 1. So it's G1. They call it pregame fuel, carbs plus B vitamins, B3, B5, and B6. It's supposed to be fruit punch flavored. 4 ounces. And by the way, this, if you can believe it, all right, this is 32 ounces of Gatorade. This is 4 ounces of Gatorade G1. This costs exactly the same amount of money as this. So apparently they think that the B vitamins that are in this are important enough to warrant the price to be the same price as a 32-ounce regular Gatorade. So just looking at this, actually what I kind of want to do is look side by side at their ingredients and see what the real difference was. So it actually looks like they both have similar ingredients. Water, they both have sucrose, dextrose, citric acid. This looks like the G1 definitely has a lot more ingredients to it, some of which could specifically call out, that they're actually B vitamins, such as this one, niacinamide, calcium pantothenate, pyridoxine hydrochloride. Also, I don't know what isomaltose is, but that's not in the regular Gatorade that just rolled away. So there are extra ingredients in here. Whether or not these B vitamins that you drink in this actually will do anything, or even could possibly even be absorbed into your body fast enough that if you're about to do a workout within an hour of drinking this, that it's actually going to affect your body any, I guess is definitely a matter of opinion. I'm not sure if anyone's actually done scientific research on that or not, but just interesting that this is a thing that they're trying to push. But anyway, as you can see, not even a cap. You're supposed to drink this all in one sitting, so you tear the top off. So let's test this sucker. Let's see if it actually tastes anything remotely like regular fruit punch here of Gatorade. Very interested to see. Oh. Okay, so I guess what you're supposed to do, as you can see here, I guess what you're supposed to do is just squeeze it out. You squeeze it through the top into your mouth. So let's try. This would be hilarious. Probably go all over the place. Ooh. Oh my God. Oof. Okay, well, it's like a hyper concentrated Gatorade. It really is. It tastes to me like the syrup that they probably put into this Gatorade to make it. Like, this is a hyper concentrated syrup. It's super strong compared to like when you make soda. And you know, soda is made from water, carbonation, and syrup. That's what this tastes like. It's a thicker kind of a drink. And it does have the same fruit punch flavoring as the regular Gatorade, but it's just weird. I'm trying to see. It has 23 grams of sugar in it, right? And that's 4 ounces. This has 14 grams of sugar in it, and it says there's 4 servings per container. So this is actually hyper concentrated. It is 23 grams of sugar and only 4 ounces. Basically, it would take 8 of these pouches to make up one of these, okay? This is telling me in this entire bottle, it only has 56 grams of sugar. In this one pouch, this has 23 grams of sugar. So, just under half. So this pouch is really a super sugar and vitamin drink. And that's probably why it's such a small pouch. They kind of want you to chug it in a couple slugs to prepare you for physical activity. So, interesting concept. It doesn't taste bad. It's just, it was weird because it is, like I said, it seems like a little bit like almost like a syrup when you drink it. So, it's a little bit different than regular Gatorade. Now, I don't know, obviously, I'm not ready to do super physical activity here or anything like that, but for what it is as a product, as something that you're going to drink, it's not that bad. It's just a little weird. You'd have to get used to it in order to, adjust to, okay, if I'm going to work out, I guess I have to drink this syrup first, but I mean, who knows? People who seriously work out drink all kinds of weird shit, so maybe this is actually more normal than some of the stuff that they drink now. But for what it has, I mean, yeah, theoretically, B vitamins and sugars would help you to perform better. Theoretically. Any scientific study that definitively says if you drink this many B vitamins and this much sugar, this exact amount of time before you work out, that it's going to actually enhance your performance in any way. So, it is what it is. I have to say that since it is Gatorade, maybe it's a little bit more trustworthy than some of those other guys that have been doing these kind of drinks for years, but who knows? Flavor-wise, it tastes pretty much exactly like regular fruit punch, except, like I said, it's it's almost like a fruit punch syrup. And since I do have to kind of rate this overall, I'd probably give it a 3, simply because it's not something you want to drink all the time. But in situations where you're probably going to work out, it might be something that you want to try. But anyway, this is hard to rate because like I said, I'm not going to go work out and see if this helps me. And there's really no way to tell anyway, because it might almost be like a placebo effect in my head, thinking, oh, because I drank this, now I'm going to perform better when I work out, and therefore, could artificially enhance performance. So I can't really rate it on the performance aspect of it, but what I can say is it's not a bad drink. It's not awful. It's not carbonated, which is good. I see these carbonated energy drinks. I'm like, why would you chug a giant soda and then go try to do activity? You're going to be burping all over the place. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So, I don't know. I'm going to give this a 3, and it's interesting. I'm just trying to get the awareness out that this product exists too, because like I said, I had heard about this. I'd seen a commercial for it on TV for months and months. I saw commercials, and I never actually saw the product. And then finally, I went to my local supermarket a couple weeks ago, and I saw it on the shelf, and I said, oh, let me snag this now, just to try it and see what the hell it is, because when you see stuff like that, it doesn't even exist. Is it just in a test market? And it seems like maybe now it's expanding into the mainstream. So that's G1. At a later date, I will also be trying out the G3, and we'll see what that's like. But anyway, that's DSP Tries It. That's Gatorade G1, which is called Prime, and I'll see you next time.